Wow, what an amazing moment to come your way and to meet a precious person like you. Are you watching this channel for the first time? Or you've once watched any of our videos and you are yet to subscribe? Kindly do me a favor by banging on the subscribe button below the video and also the bell beside it so that you can receive an alert when the next video is being released. Today I'll be speaking shortly to you on what I tag 5 things to look out for before entering a relationship. Meaning that as a man, 5 things to look out for in a lady before thinking of proposing to the person and spending the whole rest of my life with the person. And as a lady, I'm talking about 5 things to look out for in a man before I agree to enter a relationship with the person and before I say yes. 5 things to look out for. Because it's very cogent and important that a man marries right. It's very cogent and important also that a lady says yes to the right person. Because like a man said, that when you marry a wrong person, you have entered your hell on earth. The family will be like hell on earth for the person. Another man said that if you marry the wrong person, you have just married a prayer point, not a prayer partner, because the person will always be part of the content of your prayer points. Oh God, change this person. Oh God, transform this person. The person that is not changed and transformed before you marry the person, you are not praying that God should change and transform the person. You should have trusted God to change and transform the person before you agree to marry the person. You should have trusted God to change and transform the person before the person comes into your house or before you agree to go into a relationship with the person. So 5 things to look out for. Now, it's not only things to look out for, it is also things to work upon in your life so that you can be the best partner ever that a man or a woman can have. 5 things. Number 1 is what I call veneration. Veneration means respect, regard, reference, fear. Let me tell you something. As a lady, never agree to marry a man that doesn't fear God, a man that doesn't respect God, a man who doesn't have reference for God. Because a man who doesn't fear God is only a monster. It's only a monster that does not fear God. And when you say a man is a monster, you know what to expect. So when you get to the man's house and he starts maltreating you, you should know that is not a new thing. A monster is meant to maltreat. So when you marry a man who doesn't have any fear for God, who does not have regard and respect for God, you have married a monster. The same thing applies to a lady. If you marry a lady who doesn't fear God, oh my God, that home will be hot for you. Every time you are coming back home, you always have the fear of, I'm going back home to meet a lion. And that is a side of it. When it comes to reference, that's 2 sides. When it comes to veneration, that's 2 sides. One is respect and regard to God. The other one is respect and regard for superior authority, probably spiritual authority. Now, I've talked on the side of God that you must never agree to marry a man or a woman who does not fear God, who does not respect God, who does not reference God. Now, on this other side, never agree to marry a man or a woman who does not have a superior authority over him. When I say superior authority, meaning that somebody that can give him instructions, somebody that he listens to, somebody that can correct him. There are some kind of people on earth now that do not have anybody who can correct them. Like nobody is qualified to correct them. They are unteachable to the extent that even their parents cannot correct them. Such a man is a very dangerous man. Any man that does not have anybody that have say over him or her, such a person is very dangerous to get into a relationship with. Because if a man does not have a respected authority over him, the pastor cannot speak over him and he will hear. The father or the mother, family members, relatives cannot correct him and he will listen. He is God of himself. He knows everything by himself. He thinks he is perfect in everything. Every decision he makes, nobody can amend it. Such a man, if the man offends you or the man has done something bad, there's nobody can report the person to that can correct the person. That's a very dangerous man to live with. In fact, it's better to live in a room with a lion than to live in a room with such a man. Because the man will voluntarily misbehave at all time. He will voluntarily always misbehave, since he knows that there's nobody you can report him to, there's nobody you can report her to, there's nobody that can correct her. Such a person is very, very dangerous to marry. Number 2 thing I'll be talking about is virtue. Now, when I say virtue, we all know that there's a common word, virtuous woman, but there's a very scarce word, virtuous man. You can't hear virtuous man many times. Maybe it's because the word does not appear in the Bible exactly like virtuous woman. But I call it a virtuous woman and a man of character, because virtue and character are very closely related. So as we say that you must marry a virtuous woman, at the same time we say that you must marry a man of character. It's very, very important. It's very, very important. Never agree to marry a man or woman who doesn't have a moral value. Who doesn't have a moral value. Watch the person's behavior. Watch the person's attitude. Watch the person's character before you agree to go into a relationship with the person. As a lady, if you enter into a relationship with a man that lacks moral value, it may not be that obvious in the beginning, because everybody believes that most men lack moral value, and that's true. They lack moral value. We lack moral value, most men. But ensure that you go for a man who has moral value. Such a man will be the best man you can ever see in your life. They may be scarce, because there's one mindset in this generation now, the mindset of this is how men are, this is how women are. That is wrong. It's not all of them, number 1. Number 2, even though the person may be that now, doesn't mean that the person cannot change. A man who has a bad character but is ready to change is the best man on earth. But no matter how good your character is, if you are not ready to amend for good, you are the worst man. So as I was saying, back to virtue, you ensure that you say yes only to a virtuous woman. So to a virtuous man. Ensure that you don't say yes to a man that lacks good character. That is why one of the major important thing you need to do before marriage, why you say that you prepare to enter a relationship, is character development. You need to improve on your character. There's nothing as such as that is the way we are in our house. That is the way we are in our lineage. From the family where I came from, these are our attributes, this is our behavior. There's nobody that can change it. We don't change it, we are like that. That's a very bad word to say. As a man, ensure that you work on your character. Don't come and run your mouth and say, man are egoistic in nature. Does that make you one? At least try as much as possible to be the best man your wife will have. Work on your character is very important. If you don't work on your character, you will kill yourself of many things on earth. You will deny yourself of many great opportunities by a bad character. Now let me bring out this scenario. This scenario now, let me say analogy. A virtue is like gold. Beauty is like a wood. Now let me tell you something. Virtue is raw gold. Beauty without virtue is wood painted in gold color. Wood painted in gold color. So I can say that this is raw gold, this is wood painted or plank painted in gold color. Now, the difference of the two will be clear when I throw the two inside fire. This is a man that probably may not even be handsome, but that's virtue. This is a woman that probably may not be too beautiful, but she has virtue. This is another man who is beautiful, who is handsome, but does not have virtue. This is a woman who is very beautiful, but does not have virtue. By the time the heat of life comes, then you will know the true person that he carries. If you don't give attention to that now, by the time the heat of life hits your family, then you will know the exact picture of what you have married. If I throw these two inside fire, what will suddenly happen is that the wood painted in gold color will start getting burnt. One. Number two, it will become and assistance with the fire to burn well. But when I throw the gold inside fire, suddenly the beauty of the gold comes out. This gold starts bringing out its true color, its true beautiful color. But can I tell you, the heat of life will always come into your relationship. The heat of life will always hit your marriage. It's normal. But can I tell you, if you marry a woman of beauty without virtue, by the time that heat of life comes, the person will be a supporter to that heat of life. The person will be an avenue, an advantage for the fire to burn more, and life will be hot for you. But now when you get a man or a woman with virtue, even though the beauty may not be there, but when the heat of life comes, the person will be becoming more beautiful. Have you not seen people who pass through the heat of life and they come out colorful, beautiful, because they contain virtue? Never agree to marry a man or a woman who does not have virtue. It's very, very key. So I've only been able to speak about two in this video, and in the next video I'll be talking about the other three. I want to believe that you have learned so much from this. Never agree to marry a man who does not have a respect or regard for God and a man, at least a superior authority. And never agree to marry a man or a woman that does not have virtue, that does not have character. Thank you very much. God bless you. If this has been a blessing to you, can you bang on the subscribe button and also the bell beside it so that you can receive an alert when the next video is being released. Thank you and God bless you.